Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Developing the Leader Within podcast. I am Enrique, your host, and today I am fortunate. As things would align and things do align in my life, I have Chip Baker with me today, just sharing his heart. And we're going to be talking about leadership and inspiration. But before we get into all that, Chip, thank you, first of all, for being with me today, for sharing your day and with our audience. Tell us a little bit about you and what you're up to.
Well, first off, I just want to say thanks so much for having me. Of course, I can get an opportunity to hang out with a great man like you. I'm all in, baby. So first, I just want to say thanks so much for the opportunity to be on your platform and hang out with you. But myself, Chip Baker, I'm a fourth generation educator, teacher, and former coach. Blessed and fortunate to be raised by some great people as well as be around some awesome folks to learn from in my career. Currently reside in Conroe, Texas, which is north of Houston, and so it's been a great journey. About a little over 4 years ago, I started the Success Chronicles, and it is a YouTube channel and podcast where I interview people from all walks of life, and I share their stories for positive inspiration and motivation, and that's how you and I connected, and that brings us to where we are today.
Hey, man, no, I loved running into you on LinkedIn, the platform that kind of unites a lot of people.
Yeah.
But being on your show, and of course, success, right? I'm wearing the shirt, success to you. It kind of brought us together. It was good to be on your show. I love having you on mine. There's a lot that you're doing. I'm always following, right? Every time you post something about you
Yes.
speaking with youth, it really fills my heart with joy knowing that there's somebody out there like you speaking to the youth. I kind of concentrate on college graduates going into their first line leadership type of position.
Hmm.
uh, you're getting them a whole lot younger, and I love that,
Yeah.
right? So they're getting opportunities throughout their lifespan to run into folks like you and I to help them live a better life. So tell me a little bit about the youth programs that you're speaking and things like that.
So just getting opportunities. Well, let me rewind that. Our life moves at the speed of our relationships, right? And when you think about that, I think of opportunities. I've been blessed to have some opportunities based on the relationships that I've gained throughout my life. And this is evident of that as well. This is a great opportunity for me to be here with you, and it's based off of our relationship.
Right.
And so, things that I've been able to do, I speak to youth. I mean, I speak to whoever will listen, actually. But I've here recently, I've done spoke with some teams, spoke at CrossFit gym
Mm.
to coach the coaches with
Right.
what they do because they're leaving a legacy. But really, the phase that I'm in my life is, um, like I said, I've been blessed to achieve some really cool things, and I'm in the give back phase. Whatever I can do to help and give service and give back, that's where I am in my life, and that's what it's been for me.
Yeah, and that you do. I like I said, I follow what you do on LinkedIn. I follow your videos and all your inspiration. I see it on Instagram,
Yes.
Instagram as well. So you're all over the place, but that's good because we need to hear more folks like you giving that inspiration
Thank you.
and talking about inspiration. We're going to be talking about influence today, leadership and
Mm-hmm.
influence, right? So it's one of those words that everybody tries to define for themselves. I'm going to give you the Webster's dictionary version,
Okay.
and then we're going to give what we had discussed earlier, the street smart version, the one that actually is working.
Yeah.
But the Webster dictionary says the capacity to have an effect on the character, development, or behavior of someone or something, or the effect itself. So when I was in the military,
Mm-hmm.
we would say influence is the ability to move somebody to do something because they want to. That's how we would define it. I get out and I start going into John Maxwell. He says influence is, or leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less, right? That's how he says it. But tell me about what influence means to you, and then we're gonna dig into this thing.
Oh man, for me, influence is a powerful word. First of all, influence is a powerful word because influence comes with actions, and the way you influence others is by taking actions. And what we have to understand is we can influence others in a positive way as well as in a negative way. And so we have to make sure we choose to stay on that positive side of that influence. And so I think for me, influence is just making a difference or to change, right? And so we want to be able to change others in a positive way.
I love that you mentioned the flip the coin, right? Because that's how I bet you. Though I posted a while back. I said, don't let your leadership be a coin toss, right? You don't know what side you're gonna be on. You want to make sure that you are always on the right side. But as all things, influence is a process that can be applied both good and bad.
Mm.
Because if you think about, one of these figures that we're always talking about, Hitler. Hitler, you tell me if he did not influence folks. He influenced
Yeah,
a
yeah,
whole
yeah, yeah.
lot of folks. And he influenced other leaders to follow him, right? So it's one of those things that influence in itself is a powerful tool. But what are you using it for? How are you using it for? Is the real question we need to answer. So yes, it has a double-edged sword there. You got to know how to wield that thing and make it so that it's a benefit to everyone. uh, Now, in your experience, and while you're teaching, because you when you speak, you're teaching, you're giving, you are inspiring others to change, to move, to do these things,
Yeah.
and so you are leveraging a level of influence. How do you see that received, right? Because when you get somebody to come in, you're asking them to speak, but you actually get to see the fruit of your labor
Yeah.
based on the interaction. So, are people really looking for influence?
Um, I mean, I don't know, but when I get an opportunity, trying to give it to them. Hey, wanting or not, I'm about to give it to you, baby. No, uh, no, I think everybody that I've been blessed to be around has been pretty perceptive to it, and for me, I just strive to take the experiences that from my environment, my experiences, my relationships, and the actions that I've taken through my life, which that's with the sum total. And that's a formula that I have: E plus R plus A, environment, experiences, relationships, and actions. So when we take those things, that makes up the sum total of who we are, right? And so what I've strived to do is reflect on all of those and then see how I can take what I've learned from all of that and then give that to others by services, right? And that's what I do when I speak or character development program or books or whatever it is that I can give service to be beneficial for others. And I think it's been pretty perceptive, and I hope that, and that's what I ask. One of my norms is, hey, just take one thing away from what I talk about and apply it in your life.
Right.
Like I can speak, I can we can read, we can look in the dictionary, we can talk to Siri nowadays, you know. But if we don't take what we've applied and what we've learned and apply it, then we've wasted our time. So yes, I think it's been pretty receptive.
Yeah, good. And most people are receptive to being influenced in one way or another. And it's funny that you say, like, "Hey, ready or not, here I come."
I'm about to
Eh,
give it to
you
you.
know, it's one of those things that actually people they desire,
Yes.
but are they ready for it? and most people want it, sort of in pieces.
Yeah.
Most people can't take it all at once, but I do believe that most people are looking to be inspired and motivated by folks like you, and what you bring to them is an opportunity uh, to be influenced in a positive way. One of those influences in a positive way, and you mentioned earlier uh, that books, right? So
Yeah.
you're dabbling in the book scene, and have written and are doing great things in that.
Thank
But
you.
I am super excited because I know you're about to do something here at the end of March that's gonna continue to influence the readers and those that partake. So tell me a little bit about that venture.
So, yes, coming up here at the end of March, we're dropping our compilation book, which is The Impact of Influence. And the book, Impact of Influence, I have 16 other co authors in the book. And we're just telling our stories of, how we've been impacted in our life, something or someone, what we've learned from that, the lessons that we've learned from that, and then how we're using those lessons to make a positive difference in our world based off of what we've learned from that
Right.
experience. And so um, that's the impact of influence. And it's really been a cool journey. I think first off, just in showing gratitude, I'm grateful that 16 other guys will want to hang out with Chip Baker, and be a part of the project. But a lot of the guys, they didn't even give me a chance to finish asking. They were like, yes, let's go. Like, hey, what about I'm doing this? Yes. And so I'm truly grateful for that. We've been doing some promo interviews, and we knew, yes, author. We knew, yes, we'd be able to have a chapter in the book and all those things. But what we didn't probably realize is the opportunities that we're going to get to learn and grow with one another, and then spread our impact more. And John Maxwell got, so this, the concept of the principle of addition versus multiplication, right? The law. And so, with what you do, you add lots of value. With what I do, I strive to add value. But when we come together, the value that we add, it multiplies.
Right.
And that's what we're doing with the impact of influence. You think about it, each person has their own story. Now, when we come together in a book and speak and travel and do a tour and all of those other things, oh man, the value that we can add for positivity throughout our world, man, we're multiplying it, and that's what it's all about.
That truly is what it's all about. I'm just so happy to be number 17. Uh,
Let's
I tell
go.
you what, you got to go get it. I'm gonna go get it myself.
Go get it,
But
baby.
yeah, I tell you, no, it's wonderful to see a compilation, a collaboration
Yeah.
of people inspiring others to be the best version of themselves, influencing them via a book, and that collaboration to continue to seek better ways to live
Yeah.
their life. And if anything influence can do is ensure that you can chart your way even through some rough seas, right? With the proper planning and I was just telling my son about the 5 P's. He's like, "Oh, here we you trying to." He says, "You trying to triad leadership me."
So hey, it's funny. My son does it too. Hey, you Success Chronicling me. Yo, you go getting it, B.
And so I said, "Look, I'm telling you, I'm gonna bring it to you." But
Yeah.
um, just to be able to chart your way through life, sometimes it's some rough seas.
Yes.
This year for myself, this last year, no joke, from March to March, was some rough seas. But inspiration has a way of getting you on the right boat with the right keel, with the right angle, and all that stuff to get you on the other side. of
Yeah.
success. And I am just blessed to be on that side now, because I tell you, you know, we give so much, and sometimes we don't realize how much is working out there until you see somebody come back and say, look, that touched me, that right there moved me, or that changed my life, which is one of the most
Yeah. Yeah.
impactful comments that I could ever receive, and I'm sure you have received on your end for your work. So let's talk about a little bit about influence impact, right? I mentioned earlier, you know, that you could use it for good and you could use it for evil.
Yeah.
Uh, but the person truly has a choice, right?
Mm. You know, um, we all have a choice to be the best version of ourselves each moment of each day. And I have I'm glad you asked me that, because I have an acronym for choice. I'm an acronym formula guy. Like, I'm real simple, right? I have operating systems in my
Right.
life by which I operate. So formulas and acronyms, that's my thing. And so when you look at choice, we have to choose how organically I can evolve. I have to choose how organically I can engage. I have to choose how organically I can encourage. And then the last one is I have to choose how organically I can empower, right? And that's the 4 E's of choice, right? And so when I say evolve, like you mentioned, it's a choice. And every choice that you make of every day, it either moves you forward or holds you back,
Right.
right? So you can choose how fast you're going to evolve based off of your decisions. Then the next one is engage, like I said, and you can choose if you're going to be open to learning and engage with other people, because I think that's what allows you to have that maximum growth. When you engage in those conversations about things, when you engage in things for your learning, it allows you to have maximum growth. We don't just want to grow, I think we want to have maximum growth. And then the encourage, choose how organically I can encourage. It's important to understand it. It's not just about you. You know, you want to encourage others, you want to highlight others. And in your highlighting and encouraging others, you get some things from that as well that you never even would expect to receive in your life. But it's crazy when it happens, because you take it off of you and put it on others, which allows you to operate through what you're going through. And then the last one is empower. Choose how organically I can empower. And once you've gone through the process of learning those things, evolving, engaging, encouraging, what you need to understand is what you do on a daily basis, even though it may just seem small and simple for you, it's empowering to other people for them to watch you do what you do, and do what you do, how you do what you do.
Yeah, that's you mentioned that, and I'm remembering uh this week someone said, "You are such an inspiration."
Mm,
And you know, those words, you
big.
don't really know, you don't really know what you're doing,
Yeah.
or the impact you're having. You just know what you wish would happen. You
Yeah.
know, we do things hoping that what the aim for our actions are actually hit center point.
Mm-hmm.
But then you get the feedback and you're like, wow. But all along, that's what I was aiming at. Right? I was
Yeah.
aiming at
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
that to inspire and to impact through influence by my actions. And so I love that you have 4 steps on choice, and it's not just 4 steps, and it actually ends on that E with different types of things that you can do just by choosing. And so I love that you highlight that. Um, so when we choose to influence, or we choose to empower, impact, and all that, you know, and change the world around us, what truly happens is that we bring a balance. We bring a balance
It's a good word.
to the influence that's negative. Because for as we mentioned earlier, right, there's a coin toss to this influence thing, which is good and bad. But when you inspire and you influence towards the good, you bring into balance the world's influence, right?
Yeah.
And you start to negate the negative influence that has occurred. And so I love that dynamic between the good and the bad.
Yeah.
But what have you seen in your career, your movement of go get it, right? Because I love it. I love go get it.
Go get it.
where where if you don't influence on the positive and and you influence on the negative, what have you seen in that regard?
Yeah, I think the actions from that, when you are one that you're asking from a person that influences.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think like I said earlier, you have to understand that it ain't about you. But what you have to understand too is each and every one of your actions either shows people the right thing or the wrong thing. And so in that, uh, and as you were talking, I was thinking about um, the more you strive to influence, like you said, the less you get away from the negativity, and the more you hold yourself accountable, because you realize that, oh man, I got to be on point because my family got to eat,
Yeah.
or it's people depending on me, like I'm in the middle. It's just it's life or death, like if we don't
Yeah.
do it, if I'm not on point and influence these guys in the right way, like some of these people can lose their life. I mean, like and each choice is a life or death, really a decision like that. And so I think it's important. I've seen good, I've seen bad of things, what not to do, you know, and being an observer to be influenced. I've seen like, hey, yeah, don't do that, or also, as a person that's influencing, I've made some good decisions on some things, and there's some things where, I said to myself, hey, Chip, you got to do better than that, like, ooh, that wasn't good. I'm thinking that's the beauty of it too, is knowing that we're not perfect. We all make mistakes. If you can assume one thing, I think we can assume that we're all broken. You know, we all, are all just doing the best we can with what we have. But what we have to do is, in our striving to influence in a major way, just strive to move as efficiently as we can. I think there's winning and learning. You either win or you learn. There's no losses uh, if you have the proper perspective. And so, from those, learning lessons or losses, you can find out, okay, what did I do wrong? Then the next time, because you're going to see it again, you're going to face a challenge again. What can I do the next time to be better and be more efficient? So those are some of the things that I've seen.
Yeah, I love treating influence. I love to say from the church side
Come on.
with fear and trembling, right?
Mm,
The and it's not it is not the manipulation of life. It is more the molding of another
mm,
life, which is what you're doing when you're inspiring and you are influencing. You are molding another life, should be treated with a lot of delicacy and fear and trembling, because when you speak and when you act and you present an opportunity to influence someone else, you best believe that if it's a negative one, it's going to come back. Just
yeah.
like when it's a positive influence, it's going to come back in some type of thank you, or maybe that thank you never comes, but you see the life flourishing. And that's the thank you, right? Yeah, we don't really do things for thank yous. We
Mm-hmm.
do things so that we can see the fruit of the labor. And it could just be that person living out what you've been trying to inspire them to do. And so, you know, when when you, and this is why I always caution leaders, before you take on a leadership role, consider the cost, because there's a huge price for leadership. And that is and it dovetailed to the fact that you mentioned life and death. You could truly mess somebody up
Right.
through leadership.
And you don't know that until you're in that or have gone through that. you know, uh, that's the crazy thing. Like, oh yeah, I need to make sure I'm on point. you know, wait a minute, chill. you know,
Yeah, yeah, and that's why yeah, as a watchman, right? As a watchman, I try to blow the trumpet as soon as I see the danger coming. But for folks that are aspiring to be leaders, trying to get up the that ladder,
yeah,
um, remember that every step you go closer to leadership is one step farther than you were from you. So, when we talk about, you talked about saying it's not about you, right? It's not about you. That's something that leaders that have been in it for a while understand. Uh,
yeah,
uh, but let me just caveat that with true leaders that have been in it for a while understand, because you could technically be in a leadership position for a long time and not be a leader. Uh, Depending on how long that company or that organization willing to uh, let me just say bear with you, right? So, because
mm-hmm.
the people will know right off the bat, and they'll cut you off. They'll be like, okay, we're not listening to that. Uh, but but the organization might keep you around a little longer. But so in terms of that delicate balance of knowing that, hey, I have a life here in my hands. I have to make sure and ensure that I'm leading or influencing in a positive way. What would you tell a leader that's kind of struggling with that? You know, doesn't haven't gotten to the position or mentality of, hey, it ain't about me.
I would just tell them to reflect on their why. Reflect on the people that have impacted and influenced their life. What are the traits that they had? What are those positive traits that those people had? And then just strive to, based off of what you believe in, put all of those things together in the gumbo, you know, and then make your thing from that. And so, in that process, first, you learn so much about yourself. You grow in that process, and you really hone in and you gain clarity for why it is what you do. And then when you're able to do that, then that's when you are set on fire to lead. And you think about it, when you think, and as I was saying it, I was thinking about those great leaders that I've had in my life, and the traits that they had and what they all brought to the table. And I've done that in my life. There's lots of people that, man, I love the way, you know, that leader communicates with us. I love the way that leader treats us. I love the way that leader, rolls his sleeves back and ain't afraid to get in there and get dirty. Like, I love the way that leader don't just ask us to do things or tell us to do things. Like that leader gets in there with us, and hey guys, this is how you do it. Let's get it. Let's go as a team. And so I've tried to take all of those things and put it and use that to be an effective leader. So that's what I would suggest they do. Just reflect on the why. Like, why are you doing what you're doing? Like, why do you want to be a leader? You know? But then also I tell that leader that you can do it. Like you're capable of doing it, and know that there's people depending on you. So you got to do it. It ain't no bad days. Like, show your butt up, have a great attitude, and give everything you got in the moment today. Don't worry about in the past or later. Just focus on today. Be leader of the year today. And that's when we take that approach each day, it allows us to have great days. And you stack those days and weeks and months and years, and time will go by and you'll be able to look back on it and be proud of the things that you've accomplished and how you've led.
Outstanding. I love saying lead where you are, right? Don't
Period.
wait for tomorrow. Don't think about yesterday. Where are
Period.
you?
Yeah.
Lead where you are right now, where you
Right
are.
now.
Yep. And so I love that. Chip, I could be here with you all day long, talk about
Yes,
stuff.
sir. Man,
but
we could do
uh
this to
and
death till there
so
ain't none left.
that's right. But if somebody wanted to get a hold of you,
Yeah.
how would they do that?
So all of my social media, and I'm on all social medias because I don't want it to be any excuse for you not to get this positive inspiration and motivation. uh, all of my social media is Chip Baker TSC, as in the Success Chronicles, and except for Twitter, and Twitter is Chip Baker 19. So I'm on all of those things, and like I said in our interview, I understood a long time ago. I learned that it's not about me, and so if there's something, like the normal, like, follow, subscribe, comment, right, all of those things. Yeah, of course, if you want to do that, that's fine. But if you go on there and you see something or hear something that you like, and someone else comes to mind or heart that you love and care about, I just ask that you would just please share it with them to help make our world a better place.
Amen. And I'll be having that information as part of the video, show notes, and all that,
Yes,
so that
sir.
you can get a hold of Chip. Chip, thank you once again for being with me this day. I hope that everybody that's listening got the nuggets that I did from his conversation, and I just wish you all, as I normally do, success to you, and have a great week ahead.
Go get it.